Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone. This is your future fried potato, JustAPotato, and welcome to another video of Cosmic Frontiers. And in this episode, we will be getting our first EBF. In the previous episode, we kind of filled all of this wall with machines, and we have some kind of very basic ore processing. We have here a basic ore washer with some distilled water, and we also have a thermal centrifuge. We also have a regular centrifuge just in case we need it, and an electrolyzer. All of these machines will help us to get a bit more of extra ores from our regular ores, so that is very good. I've been processing some ores. This is not everything. I'll be processing more, but yes, you can see we get a bit of gold, we get a bit of cobalt, a bit of zinc. From some ores, for example magnetite, we can get a bit more of gold or of iron. From chalcopyrite, we can also get a bit more of iron from here. So yeah, at the end, we get a bit more of ores, which is always good. In this part here, we have our arc furnace. I haven't used it on video, but this allows us to make cheaper rough iron and also anneal copper. Rough iron, we use it a lot on low voltage, and anneal copper allows us to make cheaper circuits. For example, if we want to craft vacuum tubes, if we use anneal copper wires instead of regular copper wires, we get one extra vacuum tube. The same with the resistors. If we use fine anneal copper wire instead of regular copper wire, we get double the amount of resistors. So yeah, again, a better crafting ratio. But anyway, I've been crafting a lot of stuff. A lot. Doesn't seem a lot, but it's been a lot of crafting. So we are going to start the episode by crafting a new alloy we are going to need. And for that, first, we are going to do all of the 5 basic electronic circuits that we will be needing. And we are going to craft our basic alloy smelter. And we are going to connect it maybe here. Like here. And this we are going to be using to combine some rough iron and nickel. And in 7.5 seconds, we should be getting invar ingots. This is going to be the main casing material for our blast furnace, and we also need one machine casing for the controller itself. Up here, in the meantime, I've been also crafting another thing that we are going to need, and that is copper nickel. Copper nickel is going to be the material for our first set of coils, the copper nickel coils. That's how we start with the EBF. For this we need 2H copper nickel wires, so we can come here and use lead. Yes, and just craft 2 stacks of copper nickel wires for now. Now with this we get our heatproof invar machine casings, and with this we can start crafting all of the inputs, outputs, and multi-block parts that we will need for the EBF while we are still waiting on the copper nickel. So let's start with the EBF controller. Let's get a couple of LP energy hatches. We need 2 because we need to do all of these processes in MV tier. We will need an input bus, an output bus, an input hatch, the muffler hatch, the maintenance hatch. We can do it here on the assembler, and we are only missing the heatproof machine casings and the copper nickel coils. So yeah, it's just a bit of waiting. Now with all of this, the coils we need no circuit, and we need liquid tin alloy. I have here some. And after some seconds, 10 seconds, we should be getting our first cupronickel coils. There's it, the first cupronickel coil. Those are the 16 cupronickel coils we need. And with these ones here, I made a bit extra of, of frames, but there is no problem. We will still need more heat-proof machine casings in the future. But with this, we should be able to craft all of our EBF now. Let's check the quests. Have I unlocked it? Yes, it is unlocked. So yeah, we can start crafting all of the EBF. First, let's start setting up the energy. Remember I said some videos ago that the EBF needs to be overclocked. If we, for example, we want to craft 1 ingot of aluminum, which is our goal, we need to have the EBF at MV. But of course, for MV, we need aluminum. So what we can do, these multi-blocks, they require these input hatches, these energy hatches. Energy hatches is basically the energy input for the multi-block. Each energy hatch can store 2 amps of the energy tier. And remember, we also said that 4 amps of one tier is equivalent to 1 amp of the next tier. So if we want to have 1 amp of MV in our multi-block, we need to provide with 4 amps of LV. So each energy hatch, it will provide 2 amps. If we have 2 energy hatches, in total we will be given 2 amps of MV. 1 amp of MV. With 2H thin cables is just fine. Each 2H thin cable has a capacity of 2 amps per cable. That is enough. And then we can grab a couple of steam turbines. And of course, properly connect them into the cables. Now we only need to provide with these steam turbines with some steam. And this should be everything. We are now producing 2 amps in each LV energy hatch. We are producing 2 amps of low voltage, meaning that whenever we finish building the multi-block, we will have the 1 amp of MV into our electric blast furnace. Now you may be asking why I have done it like this. Most of the crafts that we are going to be using for the electric blast furnace, especially aluminum, and most of the MV crafts, they require 120 EU per tick. So we need to make sure that we are providing 120 EU per tick. Each basic steam generator will produce 32 EU per tick. So in total, we have 64 in each side, a total of 128. But we also have to consider cable loss. These 2H steam cables, they have a loss per meter per ampere loss of 1 EU per volt. 1 EU volt, sorry. So in total, this cable here, we are transmitting 2 amps of energy in 1 block distance. So 2 times 1, 2. Whenever the energy gets into this energy hatch, we will lose in total 2 EU, right? Yes, 2 EU. So in total, we will have 62 EU per tick being produced by these 2 steam turbines. The same here. And 62 plus 62 is 124. Yes, 124. So in total, we are actually giving to this multi-block 124 EU. Or I think 120. I'm really not sure, but we are giving this multi-block enough energy to sustain itself without using a buffer. That's why we don't have a buffer here. Now we are providing into the total steam or steam grid. We are providing steam to 6 plus 4, 10 steam turbines. So we do need to crank up a bit the throttle of the large bronze boiler. If not, it is not going to keep up with the steam consumption. So let's crank this one up to 80%. This means that now we are producing 640 liters of steam per tick. That is enough steam to keep up 10 steam turbines fully working all the time. Remember that each steam turbine, it consumes 64 steam. Sorry, 64 liters of steam to produce 32 EU. So yeah, very nice, very nice, very nice. I'm missing one block. And with this, we have our first EBF. The first of many. Now, but before doing anything, as you can see on the user interface, we can see the max EU per tick that this can receive is 128. Thus, the max received tier is MV. It has a heat capacity of 1800 Kelvin. So these ones are our limiters in regards what kind of receipts we can run on the EBF, on the current EBF we have. I'll fix the maintenance issues right now. But before that, there is something I want to do. If we come to the aluminum ingot receipt, for example, we can see that one aluminum dust will take 44 seconds to craft into one aluminum ingot. That's a bunch of time. We can basically reduce this if we use nitrogen gas, and we also actually have some nitrogen back up here. So what we can do is grab some fluid pipes and just steal some nitrogen from here. We are not going to use it, so so there is no problem if I just take some. I have a pump here with nitrogen as a filter, and there is it. There is nitrogen gas being buffered in here. We really don't need that big of the tubes. I think with small tubes it's going to be just enough. But now we should be able to get some nitrogen into this input hatch, and that means that now we can do aluminum a bit quicker. Now the EBF also opens up another door of possibilities, and that means that we can now get steel a bit cheaper. If we combine rough iron with oxygen gas, in 15 seconds we get steel ingots. Of course we need oxygen for this. I've been trying to make a EBF with 2 input hatches. You cannot do that. It's not going to complete the multi-block. So what we will have to do is just disconnect this from our nitrogen source, and just fill it up manually with some oxygen whenever we want to craft some steel in here using this. We can still use our primitive blast furnace, and I think that's what I am going to do for now, because we normally have a surplus of coal. Right now it is using creosote. I think, yes, it is using creosote. So we should be buffering a lot of charcoal right now. 1.3k charcoal. So yeah, charcoal is not a problem to use for steel as for now, right? It will turn into a problem once we use all of the 12 amps this bronze boiler can produce. When we come to that point, I think it's going to be best to move into using the EBF to make steel. But for now, it's just fine. We can keep using this for only aluminum. And if we want some quick steel, again, we can just disconnect this, void the nitrogen that is in here, or use it all, or store it in a couple of steel cells, and then input manually some oxygen from here, for example. That would have a lot of oxygen. Or from here if we have some oxygen remaining. However, the first thing that we have to do is do some maintenance. That is all of the maintenance that we need to do. And now, this should be properly working if we put in the input 1 aluminum dust. On circuit number 2, let's first be careful. This is very hot. It's a very hot machine. Here we should be just fine. We are running perfectly. And after 30 seconds, in some time now, we should get our first ingot of aluminum. Now I'll throw everything. I'll throw all of the stack of aluminum I have there. And if we come down here, yeah, I don't think we are losing on energy. Oh, this LV hatch is off. Yeah, I hope we are not losing on energy. We are losing on energy, actually. Oh no, not really. We are not really losing on energy. It's just that it is a bit weird, but yeah, we are not losing on energy. We're like kind of recovering a bit, but then we are losing, but then we are recovering, and then losing, and then recovering again. Yeah, we are not losing on energy. Energy is fine. It's just fine. But yeah, our first 4 ingots of aluminum. Look at that. So, we still have some time. I think the video for now, it will be up to now, maybe 20 minutes or so, around 20 minutes. At most 30. But I think we can continue. Yes, I think we can do more. Only doing the EBF was very little. So let's go through here and get a Manasteel ingot, or at least 1 stack, if possible. So for that, we will need blue alloy. This is very easy. Very easy, just electrotyne and silver. Electrotyne right now is being cooked here. Very easy, very simple. Those are 4 stacks of electrotyne. Silver, we've got a lot. And it is 4 stacks of electrotyne for 1 stack of silver. So we can just grab 1 stack very quick. And then with circuit number 2, we throw everything into the mixer. And we should be getting 4 stacks of blue alloy dust. No, 1 stack. Only 1 stack of blue alloy dust. After we do that, we will just cook it on the blast furnace. I think I'm doing 1 stack right now of aluminum. Yes, I've put 1 stack of aluminum to craft. So while we are preparing all of that, we can start with the electrotyne. Sorry, with the Manasteel. For Manasteel, apart from blue alloy, we will need some ethanol. And I think ethanol will be our first actual reaction chain. And I'll use all of that wool to make all of the ethanol line. Well, the small ethanol line. I'm just going to produce enough to make the Manasteel. So let's start. So basically this is all of the machines that we are going to be using to produce ethanol. We have a lot of stuff that I have to explain, but there is something we are missing. In order to make ethanol, we need these proper pearls, which we get from the nether, the same as the blackstone bulbs that we are also going to be using. In order to get this, I've been traveling a bit to a different place. This much. We were here and now we are here. And what we are looking are for... Where is it? Those things there. Right there. That's what we are looking for. There are some here as well. So we can just grab these ones. We have to be careful because this stuff is explosive. What we have to do is go near them and just shear them. And we will get those stuff there. You only need one. So hopefully I don't explode. And I didn't explode it. We actually only need one of them. We don't need three, but just to have some extra, just in case, we can save these ones. And we can start with all of the process. So as you could have seen, there are a lot of tubes here. Let me explain what we do stuff. We can say that the ethanol production is separated into two stages. We have the one that requires the blackstone bulbs, and the second that requires proper pearls. In the first stage, we need both a nether catalyzer and a basic cutter. The basic cutter, we can either have water, distilled water, or lubricant. We are getting some lubricant here from this distillery back here, which is creating lubricant from creosote. And what we can do right now is throw in here in the basic nether one blackstone bulb. After 8 seconds, this will create an overloaded blackstone. Sorry, a blackstone postle, which will go down here and cut it into blackstone bulbs. One of them will go to the basic nether, and the other two will go to this basic mixer in this side here. This is the first step. Now I want to grab a bucket of water very quick. We only need one bucket of water to start all of the process. Now with program circuit number 1 and some water, we can start producing some nether sediment sludge. With this we will produce one bucket of nether sediment sludge per each bucket of water and per each blackstone bulb. This nether sediment sludge will come into this basic flora nurturer, which we'll be using to create the nets, to start the nets reaction. With one bucket of water it is enough, because we will fill this basic mixer with more ethanol after all of this process finishes. Now the second step. The first step, the nether sediment sludge. This sludge is something that we are going to be using a lot in the future to grow stuff. But for now, because we only need it for the proper pearls, we are only having this setup for this thing here. So we can throw the proper pearl here. And after 8 seconds, this will produce overloaded pearls. There is it. It will produce always 2, which will go to both basic nether catalyzers. There is a conveyor belt with round robin, so we equally distribute the overloaded pearls. From these overloaded pearls, we also get more proper pearls. This one we are voiding it here in the item trash can on the top with a filter in whitelist. So we only void those proper pearls. This is not used in anything else other than food. In the future, to make lava regent. But yes, this is future, it's not something that we are going to be doing right now. Now with this, we are producing ethanol. Some ethanol is going to the basic mixer, whereas the rest of the ethanol goes to these 3 combustion generators. As you can see, we are producing a surplus of ethanol. What's happening here? Why are we putting ethanol in here? Ethanol, we can also use this to make more nether sediment sludge. So we use 1/4 of a bucket to make 1 bucket of nether sediment sludge. We use 2 blackstone bulbs, but the production of blackstone bulbs, it's as you can notice, it's a kind of surplus. So yeah, we really don't need to worry about this. Now, 1/4 of bucket of ethanol yields 1 bucket of nether sediment, and half a bucket of nether sediment will yield us 2 overloaded pearls. So we get 4 overloaded pearls per each bucket of nether sediment sludge, and each overloaded pearl gives 1/4 of bucket of ethanol. So basically we are gaining on 3/4 of bucket per each rotation using ethanol. And this is more power efficient. As you can see, with water we take 4 seconds, but with ethanol we take 2 seconds with the same energy consumption. So it is much better to use ethanol than water. And in order to process this, we need circuit number 2. Now we are feeding this with nether sediment sludge, which will produce us more overloaded pearls, which will produce us more ethanol. And that's how all of the ethanol cycles finishes. So the idea is that we are going to build up some ethanol backlog, and after all of the ethanol gets backlogged, so after we get 4 buckets of ethanol in each combustion generator, and we also fill this basic mixer with 8 buckets of ethanol, then we will grab our wrench and we will connect this fluid pipe that goes into the spout right here. As you can see, this is getting filled with ethanol. And after this gets filled, we can use this 1 bucket of ethanol with 1 blue alloy ingot to get 1 ingot of Manasteel, which is our goal for today. Now after just some basically 1 minute, it has passed, and all of these combustion generators are full, so they only require very little ethanol to be provided with. Now most of the ethanol is going into this spout here, and it is also being backlogged into this fluid pipe network on the back. The basic mixer is also almost full, so we can start crafting some Manasteel. Let's do 1 ingot, and that's how we get our Manasteel. I'll just leave all of that stack of blue steel so we can get some Manasteel going on. Everything is looking fairly good. But well, with that, we also have all of the ethanol line and the Manasteel able to craft. So we've done a lot of progression in this episode. It's been a very productive episode. Our first 6 ingot of Manasteel. So that's just leave us to make our first good electronic circuit, which will be our first MV tier circuit. That is very nice. And with this, we will also be able to do our first basic circuit assembler. This is going to be the plan for the next episode. We will be getting our first basic circuit assembler, and this will allow us to make cheaper circuits, especially LV circuits. Cheaper LV circuits. That's the most important thing. But yeah, we are very near into entering MV, the MV tier of GregTech, and that's very nice. I'm very happy and I'm very excited to continue with this journey here. But this is the end of the episode. If you're still here, thank you for watching. And as always, I hope you have a better day, because it can always be better. And I'll see you on the next episode. Bye.